Now for what's trending in true crime, police finally have a new clue in the search for missing toddler Elijah Vu. Officials in Wisconsin are confirming that his little red and white blanket was found about 4 miles from where he was reported missing. This sweet 3-year-old child was last seen on February 20th at a home in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. His mother, Katrina Bauer, and her boyfriend, Jesse Vang, have since been arrested and charged with child neglect. Now, there are so many people right at this moment trying to find little Elijah that police have to warn searchers not to trespass on private property. So now that it's confirmed that the blanket belongs to him, what are the next steps in this investigation? We have great guests on our power panel this morning. Let's bring them in now. Still with me, criminal defense and civil rights attorney Kecia Early, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borghardt, and retired police sergeant with the Nashville Police Department, Melissa Pinkleton. Good morning to you all. Sergeant Pinkleton, I'd like to begin with you, please. Would you start off the conversation and where the search goes from here?
Yeah, this is a big deal. This is a big find. It's sad, but big find. What they need to do is, now that they have a piece of evidence that they know left with the child, now is the time to get mom and the boyfriend back in the box and start asking questions again. Because with an actual thing, an actual product that they found, a piece of clothing that they found, his blanket, that might amp up the anxiety to get one of them to flip over on the other. I mean, that's a big find, because right now they probably are thinking, we stick to our story, we're good. And I don't think that they anticipated this blanket coming up. So this is a good thing. Also, what they're going to be able to do is get drones in the air, cadaver dogs in the ground, and work backwards from the area that they found that blanket. And that's going to be a big deal. And hopefully with a certain amount of radius, drones, dogs, searchers, and getting them back in the box to speak and hopefully flip on one the other.
Exactly, Sergeant. They are not letting up. I've got a clip from the chief of police now saying that they are determined to find Elijah.
I'm not going to speculate. What I'm going to do is continue to search for Elijah Vu. We are doing everything in our efforts, believing that he is still out there. We will find him and we will bring him home.
Franz Borghardt, to you next, please. Your thoughts on this investigation and largely what Sergeant Pinkleton said. We've got these two defendants. They're both behind bars right now. How might investigators lean on them to further the search?
Well, I think they are going to put them in an interrogation room and say, hey, we know your DNA is all over this blanket. Why don't you tell us what happened? And look, whether or not their DNA is on the blanket or not, police can absolutely tell them that in an effort to get them to disclose what happened to that little kid. And look, at the end of the day, you've got two competing interests that are the same, right? Where is he? Let's find him. And two, how did he get wherever he is? And for me as a citizen, for me as someone who's watching this, I want them in jail because I absolutely believe they had something to do with it. And two, I want to find him so he can be put to rest.
Preach, my friend. Preach, Franz. Yes. I've got a clip from Grandma, little Elijah's grandma, speaking out. Let's take a listen to what she's been saying.
I want my grandson to be home with my family. So I want everybody to continue. Don't stop. Just searching for my baby Elijah.
Kecia, to you next, please. Would you take us home on this case, your thoughts, and whether we'll be finding little Elijah safe?
I'm believing by faith that they're going to find him. And I do believe that, speaking of DNA, they may find outside DNA, another source of DNA, where if the two won't talk, maybe the third person's DNA, they'll talk. And then they, as my colleague stated, work backwards from the evidence that you have. They're going to find that baby. They're going to find circumstantial evidence that's going to corner them. And one is going to break. So this is just absolutely heartbreaking. But I'm holding out faith that he'll be found and laid to rest.
Okay, Kecia, well said. Thank you kindly.